Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me to celebrate the accomplishments of the 2021 NIH Directors Award recipients. Yeah, 2021 has presented NIH with unprecedented opportunities and some challenges, but with your help, we have made incredible inroads in the fight against COVID-19. Over the past year, NIH has been in the center of scientific solutions for this worst pandemic in more than a century, putting forward amazing progress in vaccines and therapeutics and diagnostics, and we will be mentioning some of those in these awards. NIH has also worked tirelessly to educate communities about the life-saving benefits of the vaccines, while simultaneously battling the scourge of disinformation. And while COVID may have dominated news headlines and certainly dominated my life over the last 2 years, other mission-critical initiatives have been undertaken across the institutes and centers, and we want to be sure to recognize those as well. So it's my pleasure to congratulate the 2021 NIH Directors Awards recipients. This year, we commend an astounding, wait for it, 3,263 recipients. Whoa, for their exceptional work in 2020. Their achievements demonstrate outstanding commitment to excellence, to public service, and to the NIH mission. The cutting-edge biomedical research performed at NIH serves the American people and communities and individuals around the globe. Since the 1870s, NIH has partnered with international organizations to combat plagues, prevent and treat everyday illnesses, and study the origin of diseases known to us today and those we will discover tomorrow. NIH has mapped the human genome, I remember that, created vaccines against such diseases as hepatitis, influenza, and now COVID, and provided research grants to institutions to further the advancement of cutting-edge science. We are the largest supporter of biomedical research in the world, and we think we do it pretty well. Now, this year, amidst the pandemic, my colleagues and leadership across NIH came together to celebrate the accomplishments of our employees. The public health emergency we face today has brought unprecedented challenges. Still, we know that our amazing staff is the best equipped in the world to find innovative solutions that will save countless lives. So now the 2021 NIH Directors Award recipients are being recognized for work performed during 2020. For many of you, 2020 may feel like a distant memory given the changes in our daily lives, but it is essential to remember our past accomplishments and those set us up for our future success. Now, there's so many awards this year that if I wanted to actually do justice to highlighting all of them, we would be here for many hours. But I can't do that. So maybe I will just spend a little time highlighting a few of the many impressive awardees being honored this year. And if I didn't mention you, I'm sorry, I should have. But as I said, otherwise you might not have time to listen to this. So let's start. The Active Implementation Team, Active, ACTIV. That is an amazing public-private partnership that stands for Accelerating COVID-19 Therapeutic Interventions and Vaccines. That was developed and launched within weeks and worked under an extremely tight timeline. NIH offices, under the leadership of myself and Larry Tabak, coordinated with the Foundation for NIH, with the department, including CDC, FDA, working with Operation Warp Speed, and with industry leaders, 20 pharmaceutical companies, to provide invaluable input to promote the rapid design, development, and testing of therapeutic strategies, identifying the highest priority therapies to put into rigorous clinical trials, designing those master protocols, and getting it done. That guaranteed that all of this was done effectively and efficiently to advance safe medical countermeasures at a record-breaking pace. Things like monoclonal antibodies, which have saved many lives. Okay, another one. The asymptomatic testing for COVID-19 group. How many of you were able to take advantage of asymptomatic testing during these 2 years? I certainly did. I looked on my phone. There's like a lot of them just dropping by to find out, am I okay? Fortunately, the answer was always yes. And this group was dedicated, and not only the fact that we needed sites like that in Bethesda, but establishing sites for COVID-19 testing in Shady Grove and Frederick. And staff have had access to facilities in those satellite locations to monitor the pandemic's effect and minimize the possibility of workplace transmission. And we have done a great job of that, NIH staff. There have been very few instances of transmission despite this very contagious virus over 2 years. Another one, and related to this, during 2020, the DLM COVID-19 accessioning team, Division of Laboratory Medicine, that's what DLM is, did the kinds of things you'd want to see to remain exceptional as an organization. The clinical center had provided increasingly high volumes of testing for NIH employees. Again, yeah, I was one of those. And each team member in the accessioning team had to display positive and constructive actions despite being asked to perform new tasks that were not normally part of their job description or workload. And they did a beautiful job of that. Okay, another COVID-19 pandemic issue. As you all know, COVID disproportionately affected underrepresented and underserved populations. This required a rapid response by NIH in many different ways, but I particularly want to call out the Rapid Acceleration of Diagnostics Underserved Populations Review Initiative. Okay, well, that's a lot of words. RADx, Rapid Acceleration of Diagnostics, is our effort funded by the Congress to speed up the process of developing and deploying tests that can enable people to find out whether they're infected. Ideally, those that are done as what we call point of care or even for home. But those were particularly important to provide in a way that underserved populations had access. This review group was then called upon to review projects that were ready to put into use rapidly, to track their progress over a short time frame, doing things at a speed that is really not the usual NIH process, and yet they did so. And that review process allowed rapid review, submitted an expedited time frame, and funding of several applications within a matter of weeks, and a total disbursement of more than $300 million to fund sites across the U.S. So that was a really remarkable effort as part of RADx and part of RADx UP. Pick one more. Our initial awardees, individual awardees, there are quite a few of them, but I want to call out Dr. Tara Palmore, who's been a driving force behind the development, implementation, and continued evolution of the NIH Clinical Center's preparation and response to SARS-CoV-2. Way back in the early days of the Wuhan, China outbreak, Dr. Palmore alerted the Clinical Center leadership and assumed a lead role in planning what we were going to be able to do at the Clinical Center to help. She stayed in touch with colleagues around the nation, kept abreast of the rapidly expanding knowledge base, and as a result, the Clinical Center remained at the cutting edge in its efforts to ensure the safety of patients and staff during the pandemic. Another individual award, I want to recognize the work of Ms. Nicole Ray. The U.S. biomedical workforce, we all know, has a paucity of members from Black, Hispanic, Native American, and other disadvantaged populations, an issue that is personally one that I've really tried to find solutions to, and which through our Unite initiative now has become a major priority. Well, Ms. Ray has done a lot on this over the past decade at NIDDK, particularly activism and persistence to improve exposure of underrepresented groups to science, technology, engineering, and math, STEM. She consistently advocates for disadvantaged populations through community outreach, novel initiatives, and creating programs to enhance the chances for these community members to consider a career in science. That's how we end up recruiting more talent. So hats off to Ms. Ray. Another one to mention, the NIH Common Fund is a component of the NIH budget that's aimed at addressing emerging scientific opportunities and pressing challenges in the biomedical research that no single NIH institute or center can address on its own. A particular program I want to highlight that's supported through the Common Fund is the NIH Faculty Institutional Recruitment for Sustainable Transformation. That's a lot of words, but if you can imagine, it's an NIH program, so it must be an acronym. Yes, it is. FIRST, F-I-R-S-T. And I want to call out the working group project team that put this together. First is a collaboration of the efforts and vision of the Scientific Workforce Diversity Office at NIH, but coordinated with multiple institutes. So what is this? This is a program that will fund extramural institutions to recruit not just an occasional diverse faculty member, but a cohort of early stage research faculty, and prepare them and mentor them to thrive as funded research investigators. This program will transform and maintain a culture of inclusive excellence in the biomedical research community. And it has been highly competitive, which tells you institutions out there really want to take advantage of this. So this collaborative nature between ourselves and our grantees is really critical. And I should probably try to wrap this up because I'm already stepping into a lot of your timetable. But finally, I would like to recognize another individual award, a very special one, Dr. Cynthia Tift, who's receiving the Alan S. Rabson Award for Clinical Care, an award that we established a few years ago to recognize Dr. Rabson, who always made himself available to anybody who is looking for help about medical advice for a difficult problem. Dr. Tift has modeled that same behavior, demonstrating exceptional commitment to helping patients and families affected by a number of severe early onset disorders. She is a caring pediatrician par excellence, beloved by her patients, their families, and advocacy groups, and her colleagues. Her career at NIH has been dedicated to those in the most challenging circumstances, such as patients with suspected genetic conditions for whom answers are lacking, and sometimes children with neurodegenerative disorders. When one of her patients falters, Cindy drops everything to focus on that patient. Her diligent attention to the details of her patients is legendary, and you add that to her superb managerial skills, and you define Cynthia Tift. So congratulations, Dr. Tift, for receiving the Alan Rabson Award for Clinical Care. Well, before I conclude, it's a bit traditional, although it's much more traditional to do it in person, but obviously we haven't been able to do that. Oftentimes at these awards, I've contributed a song. And so even though this is virtual, we're going to do that again. And I need to give a heads up and a hats off to my co-conspirator here, Dr. Carrie Wolynets, who's now down in the White House, but who has continued to be a source of wonderful lyrics at special times. So in a little collaboration with Carrie, tried to come up with a song that might fit the occasion, recognizing that I'm speaking to you in some of the last few days of my time as your director. It's been an amazing 12 years having a chance to serve you. And these awards are just an example of the amazing contributions of the staff at NIH. And so I will tell you, this song was a little bit hard to write and to sing. There was a big lump in my throat because it's also a way of saying thank you and a bit of a way of saying I'm leaving to go back to the lab. I'm not going to be far away, but I'll be in a different place. So at this point, let's fold in the video made very carefully by my wife, Diane, of the song. Here we go.
Well, the lab is calm, I'm ready to go. It's been 12 years since I said hello. The time has come to tell you all goodbye. Well, the awards are out, thanks to Sheila and John. Our team is thriving and the work goes on. I feel so proud to know you, I could cry. Try not to. It's you who've made our plan succeed, providing hope to those in need. NIH, my thanks just overflow. I'm leaving for the lab again. You can say that you once knew me when Dear friends, it's time to go. There's been many times that we've faced shutdowns, budget crises all around. I tell you, man, they don't mean a thing. I look back now at what we've done, awesome science, and it's been fun. I've even had some times to strum and sing. It's a you who've made our plan succeed, providing hope to those in need. NIH, my thanks just overflow. I'm leaving for the lab again. You can say you once knew me when. Dear friends, it's time to go. Now the time has come to leave you. You'll be fine with Larry to lead you, and I'll be close and not very far away. Although we may still work from home, NIH is standing strong. It's been a joy to lead you every day. It's you who've made our plan succeed, providing hope to those in need. Family, my thanks just overflow. I'm leaving for the lab again. What a joy these years with you have been. Dear friends, it's time to go.
Well, I hope that conveyed to you just a small bit of the sense of gratitude I have of having been able to serve as your director for these 12 years. I wish I could join you in person right now, all 3,000 of you, shake your hand, speak with you further about your accomplishments. But of course, the world has had different plans for us over the last 2 years. Finally, just let me say that the Office of Human Resources has this year developed a new website that provides a personalized experience for each of our awardees. So below this video, you will see a series of links that will forward you to a video recorded by your IC director, recognizing your efforts individually. Please go there. Recipients of an Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Award, the Work-Life Wellbeing Award, the Public Health Service Awards are also recognized in that website. So please click on your IC to continue this experience and know that your incredible accomplishments are recognized and admired by each of us. So once again, to all of you, congratulations.